Hello, my name's Richard. I'm the pastor at the King's Church in Addlestone in Surrey. And today I'm going to carry on my theme of giving thanks, of thankfulness. Remember the verse that I gave you last week? Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. Now, have you ever given a gift or done something for somebody and thought, this is a big deal. This is a big gesture. It's a real sacrifice. I've given of myself and I've done this thing for somebody, and then you've got no thanks, not even an acknowledgement, or maybe even you've got aggro for the thing that you did or the thing that you gave. Has that ever happened to you? Maybe you've slaved in the kitchen for the whole afternoon, let's say, and then the people come to dinner and they tell you that the sauce is a bit too spicy or the vegetables aren't very nice. You spent ages maybe picking the perfect gift, and after it's unwrapped, you're told the colour isn't really that great. Or you've bent over backwards to help someone out. You've moved things in your diary, you've worked really hard, you've put in time and energy, maybe even missed your lunch. It's been that much of a sacrifice. And then the person you're doing the favour towards just isn't satisfied. You ever experienced that? How did it make you feel? Let me know, put that in the comments. How did it make you feel when ingratitude was expressed towards you in some way? Now, this happened to Jesus. He was on the road one day and he was passing a village, so he stopped by, maybe to get some refreshments or something, to get some food. He stopped in this village, and as he was going into this village, 10 lepers call out from a distance towards him. Now, lepers in those days were unclean people, and so they had to live outside of the village somewhere. They weren't part of the community. They had their own separate community outside, and so their condition caused them to be outcasts. And so they call out from a distance because they can't get close, and they call out, Jesus, Master, have mercy on us. They're desperate. They need mercy. Without that, they are pretty hopeless. So Jesus hears them and he tells them something. Maybe he shouts back. He tells them, go and show yourselves to the priests. Now, that may seem like a strange instruction, but nowadays we go to the doctor to get a sick note to say that we can't go to work. But in those days, you would go to the priest to effectively get a well note to prove that you are healed and clean and able to go back and be part of the community with everyone else. So Jesus was effectively asking these lepers to take a step of faith in the direction of healing and the direction of wellness. And as they go, these 10 lepers, they're all cleansed, they're all healed. And when that happens, one of them stops where he's going and heads back towards Jesus and making this loud noise. He's glorifying God, he's bowing down. I imagine tears and snot and everything just going into the sand as he's bowing before Jesus. And he gives worship to Jesus and he gives thanks. What else would you do? But the thing is, Jesus is perplexed. It's not he's perplexed at the man and his worship and his thanks. That would have been a bit of a scene. He's causing a bit of a scene, this man. He was a leper and he's now bowing at Jesus' feet, giving thanks to him. Jesus wasn't perplexed at that. Jesus says, but what happened to the other 9? Where are they? Did they not get healed? How come only one has come back and is grateful? In fact, that one was a Samaritan. Remember, the Samaritans were outcasts as well. And this surprises Jesus. Yet he commends this Samaritan who comes back and who gave thanks, and he acknowledges his worship. So what's going on here? Well, I think here we've got a case of people maybe who are a bit too busy to care, a bit too many things in their lives to be bothered. Maybe we'll say thanks later and they never do. Maybe a bit too overwhelmed to respond. I don't know. It seems very impolite, doesn't it? This ingratitude. How do you think Jesus felt in that moment? Let me be honest. When it comes to ingratitude towards Jesus, we're not just talking about bad manners here. This isn't just impolite. This isn't just neglecting middle-class etiquette towards God. Ingratitude towards Jesus is sin. Yeah, sin. And serious sin at that. I'm guessing we're all aware of avoiding the kind of sins like lust and greed and wrath and pride. You know, don't kill people or steal stuff, that kind of thing. That's what we understand sin to be. But ingratitude, that is a sin? See, ingratitude is the sin of putting yourself before everything else. It's the attitude of entitlement. It's the attitude that says, I deserve this. Why should I give thanks to anybody? This is mine, I deserve it. It's the attitude also of never being satisfied. I always need more. This is not good enough. I want more. I'm not satisfied with this. I'm not thankful for this. I need more. And so that attitude manifests itself in discontentment. It manifests itself in grumbling and complaining and murmuring. At the end of the day, it shows itself in arrogance. It's a blindness to who God truly is. A God who is loving and generous and gracious. One who gives and gives and gives. It's not appreciating or valuing the things that we have. And I'll be honest, ingratitude is a serious sin. It's a corrosive sin. It's a sin that leaves Jesus, here in this story, perplexed, and it distances us from him. And whilst we live in a culture which is more like the 9 lepers who didn't return with thanksgiving, let us be the ones who offer worship through thanksgiving. Let us confess our ingratitude and cultivate within us thanksgiving to God. Because that, I believe, is a foundation in our worship and our relationship to God. Now I want to end by speaking particularly to our younger generation. Now that doesn't mean to say everyone else switch off, but I particularly want to let the younger ones hear this. You know, you've been born into a world that has told you that you have rights. And to a certain degree, that's a good thing, okay? So don't hear me wrong on this. It's not a bad thing to have rights, but never let the idea of your rights override your responsibility to gratitude. Never forget that everything you have is a gift from God, even life itself. Never forget to give thanks in all circumstances, because it honours God in worship and it will change you. It will transform you into a more Christ-like person, which is a great thing. So give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. Amen. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to the channel, or like us on Facebook, and maybe even just leave a comment in the comments. That would be really helpful to me, just to know that you watched this and found it helpful. And remember, life works with Jesus.